You know what? I think I am going to try the old intro song. Let's see if I can remember it. I didn't practice. Let's just jump in and see if I get it. Without guitar. I haven't picked up my guitar in a minute, and it's been talking to me. Maybe that'll be my thing next year. I digress. Can you... There we go. Can you hear it with your ears? Can you see it with your eyes? Can you feel it wiggling between your quivering thighs? That thing with James. Once every millennium something will come along. When you feel it, you will know it, 'cause it's coming on strong. That thing with James. Bum, 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 bum. Sit back, relax, deep breaths, no stress. Let me come inside your mind. I promise you it won't take long. The change will happen soon. You will feel something so special growing deep within you. That thing with James. That thing with James. That's me. Welcome to That Thing with James, the podcast about nothing in particular. I'm your host, James, and this is my pew, 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 inaugural birthday episode. My birthday is on December 15th, but this episode's going to come out 6 days before my birthday. Now, there could be an episode the day after my birthday because my birthday is on a Thursday and these podcast episodes come out on Fridays. However, the way things have been going, and I've been liking it pretty good, is I've been putting these out bi-weekly. So this is not an officially bi-weekly podcast, but I try to get it out no less than bi-weekly. Now, over the past year, after I picked the show back up, I tried to do weekly. However, due to several different kinds of circumstances, it was not worth it. Not for me, and probably not for you, if you've been following the show. If you're new, hey, what's up? Welcome. This is my podcast. I've been doing it for 3 years, maybe, something like that, which means it's been going on for a minute, because this year, say 6 days after this episode comes out, I will be 35 years old. Yes, my 35th birthday is coming up on December 15th, 2022. Or as my dad would say, I am in my 36th year because he likes to play around with math. Yeah. He's always done that, and it used to drive me nuts, and then I just kind of stopped caring. It's one of the so many things that I've just kind of stopped getting bugged over the past 30, in his framing, 36 years of living. So the way that works out would be sort of like century. So if you say, we are currently in the 21st century, right? The 21st century began with the year 2000 because a century is 100 years, cent, 10, which is why, unless I'm mistaken, I'm going off the top of my dome here. The C in Roman numerals means 100, and then M, I'm not sure, but if I had to venture to guess, I would imagine M, would mean 1,000, as in milli, 1,000. Mille grazie, 1,000 thanks, or as the Irish would say, 1,000 tanks. Which also, I mean, that's what the Jamaicans would say too, 1,000 tanks. Because, well, the Jamaicans learned English from the Irish. How about them apples? So if you didn't know that, the Jamaican accent, go back and listen to it and realize, whoa, this actually sounds a lot like the Irish accent. And that's because, well, they were all slaves. Anyway, they were all slaves together is what I mean. I mean, the Irish were, quote unquote, indentured servants, but that's for fucking slave. You're just a slave with some like imaginary, fake extra steps, just like we all are now within this sick capitalist system. Well, so then, first century, the first 100 years of history would have began with the year Cerro. That's Mexican for zero. Spanish would be Thero. I think the Castilian lisp thing, unless I'm mistaken, I think it began because I swear I encountered this before. I think that began because there was a king, like in Castile or something, who had a lisp, and people started just kind of making fun of him so much that it just kind of caught on and became the permanent accent. Donde el zapatario, Spain. And the very posh English accent with the dropping of the R, the very posh English accent, that also started just as a trend. It was just a fucking trend that turned into a permanent accent, because prior to that, English accents, say like in Shakespearean Marlowe times, sounded like pirates. It sounded closer to like a cross between like a heavy rhotic Dublin / American Southern / pirate accent. I'm sure it's still on YouTube, but years ago, and I mean, I started watching this shit, like 10 years ago almost. This man and his son were, they're Shakespearean scholars, and their thing is, would it be linguistics? I feel like there's a branch, like a sub branch of linguistics that is simply about accents, and I cannot think of what it is. Dialect? No, they're dialect coaches basically, and linguists, and they study all this stuff. And they figured out, a close approximate of what they think is a close approximate of what the English accent would have sounded like in the mid to late 1500s, when Shakespeare's plays were first being performed live in the Circle Theater, or the Globe Theater. Yeah, Globe. I was thinking Circle Cinema. Actually, no, I wasn't. I'm just trying to cover my ass so I don't embarrass myself on my 35th birthday special podcast, which, by the way, if I do end up having another podcast on the 16th, which would be the day after my birthday, then I'm just going to say, I'm going to employ, let's say, something I heard from a chick working at the dispensary when I went there yesterday, because I found out her birthday is the day before mine. So hers is on December 14th. Sagittarii stand strong. Well, she said that she is celebrating her birthday like Hanukkah, meaning she's just celebrating it for 2 weeks, which makes sense because if it's the 14th, then that's 2 whole weeks, 7 days of celebration. And I think that's fucking great. I've done that before and it fucking rocks. Now, if your birthday is at the end of a month and you want to celebrate every day of the month, you can do that. But don't do it more than once because that just is fucking annoying to everyone else. And at a certain point, halfway into the month, you may find yourself on like your 5th time trying to make it happen that maybe you're kind of getting annoyed with it too. You're questioning the smartness of the choice of celebrating every fucking day of the month as your birthday celebration, because it's too much. It's too much. So if your birthday's at the end of the month and you want to celebrate every day of that month up to your birthday, you can do it, but only once, because any more than that's going to be fucking annoying. However, if you are like me and the cool chick at the dispensary whose birthday is the day before mine, we're right dab in the middle of the month, which is just 2 weeks. And that's fun. That's fun. Because, you could say, oh, it's my birthday week. I'm going to celebrate every day of the week. You can do that all you want, but because that's just 1 week. And then you can say, it's my birthday 2 weeks. And that's just a little bit extra, but it's not too much. Because even in the span of like those 2 weeks, you can have a day or two reprieve to just chill and say, you know what? It's still my birthday celebration, but I'm just going to, take it easy. Not going to do anything extra. Have a day or two like that. And then you can rest up and continue again and have like no more than a week left, if that. And then, you're rejuvenated. You just, celebrate, get a little break, celebrate some more, if you need a break at all. Because 2 weeks is the sweet spot. You get the extra. But if you go to 3 weeks, you're pushing it. If you go to 3 weeks, that's just too much. That's too fucking long. At that point, it just sort of, it loses how special it feels. Because the novelty's just gone, Think about it. The month is almost done. You just paid rent. Rent's coming up again in a fucking week. That's just, yeah. It loses the novelty, but 2 weeks is perfect for extra. And if you have a birthday like at the end of the first week of a 4-week month, then you could continue to celebrate a little bit after your birthday, but that's just pompous. It's gauche. Don't do it. So what I'm saying is, if your birthday is in the first week of the month, good for you. You can celebrate the whole week. Just be careful. Don't get too gaudy with your celebration. That's a new word. If your birthday's in the second week of the month, you're in the sweet spot. If your birthday's on the 3rd week of the month, you're fooling yourself. You can try it, but you're fooling yourself. And if your birthday is in the 4th and final week of the month, especially if it's at the end of the month and you want to celebrate the whole fucking month, again, only do it once, because any more than that is basically, it's terrorism, really. I'm going to dwell on that for a moment and take a drink of this sparkling, as usual, Waterloo water. It is cranberry flavor Waterloo sparkling water, cranberry natural flavor to celebrate this holiday season. Based out of Austin, Texas, where I used to live. This is my favorite sparkling water. It's so crisp and refreshing. It's got so many bubbles and it stays bubbly. And the flavor I have yet to encounter a flavored, like a sugarless, flavored sparkling water that can match the high quality of Waterloo sparkling water. They are not a sponsor of this program. I just stan the drink. I'm a simp for this sip. So I'm going to take a simpy sip for a sec. And then I'm going to get back to this birthday special. Be right back. All right, you naughty little gremlins, I'm back. I was getting a little bit toasty with, if you're just listening, I was wearing a sweater on top of a thermal shirt and I just got a little toasty. So I put on a tank top so I can show off my ink and my shoulder hair. God, I'm fucking hairy. I'm not like that hairy, but I'm rather hairy. What to talk about? I'm not sure, but I know what I'm going to talk about in the bonus episode. In this week's bonus episode, I am going to read to you what I have written of a story. So a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, my mom, the saint she is, bless her heart, started... Oh, bless her heart sounds like an insult. I didn't mean that as like, oh, bless your heart. I didn't mean it like that. I mean it like actually bless her, because for Christmas presents, she, a few years ago, started asking me. She didn't want me to buy anything for her. She only wants me to make stuff for her as a Christmas present, which makes sense because, I mean, they're fortunate enough they could pretty much get whatever. They've got everything they want, If they want something, they got it, and they've got what they want. So, and I, she takes mercy on me because I am poor. And however, I like to make things. Especially I like to, in particular, write things. So over the past handful of years, she has each year asked me to write a story or something, like write a story or some kind of like a personal essay for her as a Christmas gift. And, that's really sweet. I'm not gonna get all mushy and maudlin over it, but that's really fucking sweet. And it's more than just, fuck it, I'm gonna get into it. It's more than just like, oh, you made something for me. It's an expression of, it's an expression and a recognition of like appreciation. It's how to see. I'm censoring myself right now because I'm afraid I'm gonna come off prideful or something, or and I'm gonna come off some kind of certain way I don't want to come off. But fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna come off it. I think she has faith that I can do something with writing through writing. And honestly, I share that faith. I believe that, I think I'm going to be somebody. No shit. Fuck it. I'm 35 years old. I don't have to be embarrassed to say that. I think I've got the goods. I believe I have the goods. I can deliver. And I think I can, do something with that. I really, 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 really enjoy writing. And so she asks me to write something for her. And let's see, I think the first time I did it, I wrote like some kind of sort of like a personal kind of an essay thing. And then the next year, I started a short story that kind of continued into last Christmas. I continued, like an episode 2 of that short story, but I'm putting that on hold for now. I don't really like where it was going. I'm not really feeling it right now, but I did feel something else. And I am going to read what I've got in this week's bonus episode. So you can access bonus episodes through my Patreon at patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. To those of you who are already patrons, thank you so much. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. And if you want to, as a little birthday gift, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, want to become a patron, go to patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames and become a patron, and you can get access to all of the bonus episodes. I think there's over 50 of them now. I think we're almost to 60, which is crazy. Bonus episodes, and there's different tiers with different additional, benefits if you want those. So once again, patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. Help support the show, help support my work, because I've also been making my own, short comedy videos as well. I started that this year. And get access to bonus episodes of this here podcast. Now, there's other business I'll get into at the end, social media links and all that bullshit. 35 years old, or 36th year, but I'm 35 years old. You start at 0, and then you've been alive for 365 days, and then you're suddenly 1 year old. I wonder, I was thinking about this right before I started recording. I wonder how much is different with me at age 35 than there was at age 30 versus the difference between what was going on at age 25 to age 30. Now, I have not, because I just thought of it, I have not created an exhaustive, compare and contrast list between those 2 half decades. However, I don't feel like doing that because I'm not that kind of a nerd, all right? I'm the kind of nerd who can't wait for this episode to be over so I can go back to Mass Effect 2. I'm making good headway in Mass Effect 2, and because I don't want to phone it in. Like, I want to do an honest playthrough. I want to, invest in the characters. However, I am very much looking forward to getting to Mass Effect 3, simply because I hope the graphics are a little bit better. And I'm playing the Legendary Edition that came out last year. So it's Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3 all together with some updated graphics. But I do hope 3 is a bit better. I started with Mass Effect Andromeda. That was the first one I played, and apparently people say that's the weakest one out of the series, and I can see why. I mean, the graphics, for when it came out, the graphics were pretty decent in Mass Effect Andromeda, but, as far as story and, role-playing branches, because this is the thing I really, really enjoy. I love a game where you can really get into the story, really get into the characters and their stories, and really play around with the effects, the results of the choices you make. I like that kind of an RPG. Now, Mass Effect is made by this company called BioWare, which also made the Dragon Age series. I'm playing my first Dragon Age game, although it's been on the back burner for the past three or 4 weeks. Dragon Age Inquisition, I'm still like in the first part of the map. Like I'm in the first part of the open world, really, in that. And then I'm also looking forward to Witcher coming out. Video games, whatever. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to the game right now, but I'm not going to rob you of the next however many minutes are left in this. So I'm just going to keep talking and say this past summer, I can remember, or might have even been spring, I was playing Mass Effect 1. I can remember feeling this way. It was a Sunday. It was nice and sunny. I had the window open. I was at my prior apartment, because this is still the second full month that I've lived in my current apartment where I'm recording this episode. And like last spring, early summer, I was playing Mass Effect 1, and I can remember recording this and be like, okay, after this, I'm going to let the camera charge before I record the bonus episode, and I think I'll get a mission in on Mass Effect, and I think that's what's going to happen here. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But let me see. Before I log off of this episode, let me try to look back, say, a decade ago. Where was I? See, I'm going to turn 35. 10 years ago, I would have been turning 25. 10 years ago, I was, you know what? There was a lot different. 10 years ago, I was living with a dear friend whom I haven't spoken to in a minute, although he hasn't spoken to me either in a minute. I like to do that when I start feeling like, I haven't reached out to this person, but then I'm like, wait a second, they haven't reached out to me either. It goes two ways, this street. Bennett, he's been on the show quite a few times. Bennett, I ought to have him back on if I can get a hold of him. He never responds to my shit. I was living with Bennett in Austin, Texas at an apartment complex which has since changed names the last time I looked. Who knows what it is? It's under different management now, but still to this day, it was my favorite apartment. I really liked that apartment. And it wasn't anything new. It was about as old as the apartment I'm in now, but it was just a little bit better built. And it also had a big fucking bathtub and a big bathroom. I just really liked that apartment. It was at Woodmead Apartments on Wickersham Lane in Austin, Texas. Not too far from like Old Torf and another street. Maybe it is Wickersham, but I think it was on Wickersham Lane. And the place, it's not called this anymore, but Woodmead Apartments. And I was stressing out a lot because, you know what, 25 or 10 years ago, I wasn't a happy camper. I was actually really fucking miserable. I was working in a restaurant as a food runner. I was dealing with legal trouble. Nothing bad. I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't steal anything. Just a lot of bullshit I've talked about on this show before. Maybe I'll get into it in the bonus episode. And I cried a lot. Like after every shift and before every shift, I was in hell. I was having like nervous breakdown, anxiety attacks all the time. I was not in a good place. And you know what? I think I'm going to continue this reflection on a decade ago in the start of the bonus episode. So once again, patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. If you want to, get in on this, continue listening to me. Why should you even listen to this show, even the free one? Because I have a soothing voice, because I can be funny. I don't force it. It just happens. And also because what better do you have to do? If you got something better to do, don't listen to this show. But otherwise, this is just a hangout. That's the whole idea of this podcast, is it's a hangout, and it's me hanging out with you and or guests if I ever get them. If and when I get them, let me rephrase that. But yeah, I just want to hang out and continue reflecting. So yeah, if you want that, you want to help support my work and my comedy shorts, patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. Speaking of comedy shorts, you can find them on my YouTube channel. If you are not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, there is more than just this podcast on there. And you can find it with at James J. Asher, or if you go to youtube.com in the search bar, type in That Thing with James, and my channel will be the first result that pops up. Hit that subscribe button, like the videos, share the love. You can also follow me on TikTok. My handle there is at TTWJ Productions. There I'm uploading just exclusively my comedy shorts that I started this year with the limited series After the Tone, which I do want to continue. That thing's not fully done. There's a whole a continuing arc that's going to happen, I feel. But that's just a feeling I have. I haven't even started writing that. But what I have been writing is just a mini, a comedy shorts called Minor Tensions by Dick Whistler. And that is sort of I'm going to age myself here, a cross between Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy meets Henri, the ennui cat. They're very good. I got a comment yesterday on TikTok on on the latest one I did, which is about boredom. And the commenter said something that I'm just going to fucking use. I'm going to make it the genre. The comment was, "This is the finest of American existentialism." And you know what? I fucking own that. Minor Tensions is comedic American existentialism, right? What else? You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. My handle on both of those is at James J. Asher. You can go to my subreddit, which I neglect a lot, but I really encourage you to come shitpost and share stuff that I can share here on this show at reddit.com/r/ThatThingWithJames. And you can email me. My email for this show is thatthingwithjames@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you if you just want to, say nice things to me. If you have questions you would like me to answer on the show, I would love to answer listener/viewer questions. And if you have a topic for something you'd like me to cover on the show, email me. thatthingwithjames@gmail.com. All of that stuff will be written in the episode description in case you missed it. Yeah. So I'm going to continue reflecting on 10 years ago, the difference between then and where I am and how I am now in the bonus episode. And I'm also going to read what I have of the story that I am almost finished writing for my mom for Christmas this year. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy early birthday to me. Maybe I'll be back the day after my birthday, maybe not. If not, I don't know. That'll be like, celebration number 2. But until next time, I love you, and I'll catch you later. Bye.